What if you could win at anything you tried?
That was so close.
We're heading to California's oldest amusement park to blow a big leaguer's mind on the milk bottle pitch.
Yeah.
We'll roll into the Big Apple to reveal a dice trick for the tab. I'm gonna say 10. Then in the city by the bay, this pinball wizard breaks down the game and takes us inside the machine.
You can shoot wherever you want.
And in the Mile Square City, I've got a pint glass riddle that will keep the good times flowing.
That's like not even right. Like, how does that even happen?
My name is Sal Piacente, and I know every con in the book. People hire me to show them how to spot a hustle. From coast to coast, I'll break down and reveal how to win at games, contests, and tricks. From the boardwalk to the carnival, I've got all the angles. Game on, America. California's 840 miles of coastline has something for everyone. Whether you're on the southern shores of La Jolla, the muscle-bound playground of Venice Beach, or the glamorous ocean breaks on Malibu. But if you're looking for games, head to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, home to the biggest variety of games on these golden shores. This place is chock full of midway classics that are so much fun, you can almost forget if you're winning or losing. And one game where more people strike out than cash in is the milk bottle pitch. You know the game. For $2 you get 3 balls. The object is to knock down all 5 bottles. If you get them down on the second or third throw, you come away with a token prize. But if you can do it on the first throw, you win a giant stuffed animal and major bonus points with your girlfriend. For most people, this game is an exercise in frustration. You can throw it high, you can throw it low, you can gun it fast or slow. But more than likely, those bottles won't go down. But let's see what happens when you apply the heat of a big league arm. Meet Gabe Kapler, former Major League outfielder. This guy throws with enough heat to take out a base runner from over 300 feet away. But here's the thing. Speed has nothing to do with it. What you need is strategy, and that's something anyone can learn.
Sal, the first thing you have to do is make sure you have some gum in your mouth. If you're not chewing gum, you're not a baseball player.
Okay,
Second,
one gum.
We're gonna be really directional with our throw. We want our shoulder, our hip, our knee, and our foot pointed directly at our target.
Okay.
On top of that, I wanna grab the baseball right on the horseshoe, because if I pull that seam down, the baseball will stay straight. It'll rotate across 4 seams instead of 2. That'll keep the ball ultra straight and in the air a long time. You got me, Sal?
I do. So the shoulder, hip, knee, and foot opposite to your throwing arm should all be pointing at the milk bottles. Everything about your stance should be aligned to throw your ball straight. Now let's see if this pro can get all 5 bottles down in one throw. Oh, almost. Come on. You let me down here. Major League Baseball player from this distance?
It's embarrassing, buddy.
Oh, right in the middle. See that? A right down the middle power shot doesn't get the job done. Instead, you get the old 7-10 split. That's bad in bowling, and it means no big stuffed animal for you here. Logic says that 75-mile-per-hour heat right on target should do the trick. But there are a few good reasons why this isn't true. This bottle is designed to stand up. The ball is the exact same size as the bottle, which means if you hit this bottle head on, you're only knocking over this bottle and nothing else.
Is that right?
Now, in the major leagues, they're always giving you new baseballs.
Yes, they are.
Out here, if you had to pick a new ball or an old ball, what would you go with?
I guess I'd want a new one that's freshly rubbed up.
That's what everyone thinks. Matter of fact, the old one is better. Why? Because the older ball is slightly bigger. And out here, every centimeter counts.
Wow.
It's a fact. The seams on an old baseball get looser over time, eventually making the ball slightly bigger. That small difference can actually be a big deal. So always select an older ball when given the choice. But an old ball isn't enough to beat this game. It all boils down to where you aim it. To put these bottles down, you have to sweep the leg. What you want to do is you want to hit the outer right-hand bottle on the side, causing a chain reaction, have that sweep in, and knock them all down. A right-handed thrower should be aiming the ball on the outside of the bottom right bottle. The impact will force the milk bottle to move left and cause a chain reaction, bringing the entire tower down.
So, if I'm right-handed, I'm going to point to the right outside bottle.
Have it go into the others.
And like we talked about, I'm gonna have my hips and my shoulders and my chin pointed towards that target that you just told me about.
Accuracy is important.
And that's gonna make those bottles explode.
One shot. A picture-perfect, on-the-money throw blew that stack away. 10 smart.
Good job, man. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure.
Pleasure, man.
On the next leg of our journey, we're going to New York City, where there's no shortage of things to do or places to eat. There are thousands of restaurants in this town, which means that at any given time, there are thousands of disagreements over who pays the check. Dinner's over for me and my pals. Check's on the table, and that's when it's time for some fun. Guys, want to play a game?
All right.
For the bill.
Sounds good.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people settle who pays for the bill by playing games like credit card roulette. Me? I've got an easy game that I like to bring to the table. Simple game. It's not exactly fair, but don't worry. In the end, the dinner will be on me. I call this one the old dice flip. I shake a pair of dice in a cup. I put the dice onto the table, and all you have to do is guess what number's there. Couple against couple. Whoever gets it right eats free.
I'm going to say 8.
8? Oh, 11.
Lucky number 7.
7? Oh, you were so close.
So close.
Our turn. I'm gonna say 10. And I'll call it with 2 5s.
No way.
2 5s.
But how did I do it?
It's game on in the Big Apple. I know every dice trick in the book, and right now I'm about to predict what 2 dice will appear after I shake them up. They think it's for the bill, but don't worry, I'll pick up the tab. I'm gonna say 10. And I'll call it with 2 5s.
No way.
2 5s. Now, I bet you're wondering how I knew 2 5s were under that lid. Well, I know how the numbers on a standard die are laid out. On the opposite side of a 1 is a 6, a 2 is a 5, and a 3 is a 4. An easy way to remember this is opposite sides of a die always add up to 7. So when it was my turn, I snuck a peek at the dice. I spotted a couple of 2s, and I know 5s are on the other side. I flip them over quick enough that they only turn over once, then shake them side to side, but that's just for show. The dice underneath aren't flipping over. They're only rattling against each other, sliding side to side. I'm gonna say 10, and I'll call it with 2 5s. I know the dice and sneak a peek. That's how I win, every time. Guys, thank you so much. Dinner was excellent. And of course, I picked up the tab. Good dinner. Now let's go from the city that never sleeps to the city by the bay. San Francisco has been called the Paris of the West. Ever wonder why? Maybe it's the old world streets, the classic architecture, or the wide variety of fine dining. And you can find this place that fits the French billing to a T. The Musée Mécanique is my kind of place. This place holds one of the largest collections of vintage arcade games in the world, including Pinball, which back in the day was considered a game of chance and banished to the back rooms of arcades. But in 1976, a guy named Roger Sharp proved to the New York City Council that pinball was a game of skill. Now meet Roger's son, Zach Sharp. Not only does this guy have pinball in his blood, he has won over 50 world-class tournaments. We've all played this game, although in many cases not very well. Now it's time to step it up in pinball. The bottom line with pinball is keeping your ball alive. And to do that, you need a little flipper 101. One of the biggest mistakes I see with most people, they play with both flippers. They hit them erratically.
Now, if you're a boxer, are you gonna punch with both hands at the same time? I would treat, your flippers as extensions of your hands. You want to use each flipper independently.
There's a good reason for this. When both flippers are in a down position, the gap of the drain is 63 millimeters wide. But when you raise one flipper at a time, not only are you shortening that gap by 6.5 millimeters, you're also playing with a much greater degree of self-control.
So one thing that I tell people is if you're not comfortable playing, one flipper at a time, play one-handed. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone. not only can you anticipate where the ball is going, you're still only going to be flipping with one flipper.
The next thing you need to know is how to control the ball.
The scariest part about pinball is when you plunge the ball, because right now I have no control over the ball, where it's going, but now I've got control. I cradled it. Now I can do whatever I want. You know, say that you have the ball cradled on the left flipper, and there's nothing to shoot for on the right, but there's something over here I want to shoot for. Right now, I can't do that, because the ball is cradled on the left flipper. So you can do what's called a tap pass. If you, I don't know if you see the flipper kind of moving, just fluttering a little bit. I'll attempt what's a tap pass. If you can execute it well, you can shoot wherever you want. There's also a move called a post pass, which if I flip the ball quick enough, I can make it bounce off the bottom of this plastic post, and it'll traject the ball over here. There you go. There's the post pass.
Passing is one thing, but shooting is another.
In pinball, you gotta know the angles.
Don't just send the ball flying. Figure out where you will get the most points and send it there.
How do you get that ball to go where you want it to go?
Most pinball players, you want to map out what I want to shoot for. So now that I have the ball cradle on this right flipper, I'm going to shoot for this 2X target. Oh, wow, that was really early. So logically, what should I do?
I would do the same thing, just wait till a second later.
Perfect answer. It's like any bat and ball game. You know, you're hitting it too early, hitting it too late. You try to get control, adjust, muscle memory. You can hit what you're aiming for.
It's all about positioning on the flipper. Closer to the end, it'll shoot farther out. Park dead center, it'll plow up the middle. You want to pin that ball right where your target is to rack up the points. But sometimes, no matter how good you are, you still need a little extra help.
Well, fortunately, I can show you what many people will never see in their lives.
It's Game On, America, where we give you the winning formula for all kinds of games. And right now, we're hitting the pinball machine. We've shown you the secrets to ball control and hitting your targets.
I can map out what I want to shoot for.
But the best way to learn a game is to really get inside of it.
You always hear the expression tilt. This is where it came from.
Yes.
Explain to us what tilt is.
Well, fortunately, I can show you what the inside of a pinball machine looks like. So over here is what's called a plumb bob. If you shake it too much, this metal plumb bob is going to make contact with this circle, and you'll hear what happens. Tilt. So you shake it too much, that makes contact, kills power, lose your ball. If you pick up the machine, this device is put into play. This will roll, make contact, tilt the same way that this would tilt.
Now that you've stuck a peek inside, you know you've got a little bit of wiggle room before it actually tilts.
So it's trying to find that fine line of how much can you get away with. So like right now, if the ball is going down the side, I can shake the machine. I can change the trajectory of the ball by nudging it, bobbing it. It makes the ball bounce that much more over.
Zach, now that we've seen everything, I'm going to step back, dazzle me.
I'll try my best.
So just remember, take it one flipper at a time, control the ball, angle those shots, and don't be shy. Do that, and you too can be a pinball wizard like this guy. Now let's head to the gambling capital of the world, Las Vegas. Vegas is a city all about choices. Where do you want to eat and what do you want to play? And when it comes to gambling, it's all about two colors. I've got a game that will wow and amaze as I correctly predict the color of every card in the deck. This is called Red Black. Okay, watch this. For this trick, I need to make sure that I get a good look at every card.
So let me think about this for 1 second.
Here we go. There's gonna be 3 blacks, a red, 2 blacks, and 2 reds and a black.
If that happens, it'd be awesome. Oh, I think it is. I so think it's happening right now.
Now I've got 2 piles. One's black the other's red.
These are all your blacks. Oh, one red, one black. Missed it by one. That was so close. Oh, thank you. So here, I'll show you how it's done. What I just did was I just memorized binary.
Binary is a numbering system that represents numeric values using two unique digits, 0 and 1. In my case, a black card is 0 and a red card is 1. As I go through the deck, I create a string of binary numbers in my head. By the time I'm through the entire deck, I have a 52-digit binary number memorized. I might not have been perfect last time, but to prove I know what I'm doing and to make things even more interesting, I asked this guy to try and knock me off my game.
All right, you ready? Go.
7, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 3, 1, 7, 5, 0, 3, 8, 10, 12, 13, 15, 1, 2, 3. Nice finish.
You're pushing me to the limits, but that's what this is all about, pushing it to the limits. Yeah. Take the deck. Red, red, red. 3 blacks.
Nice.
Black, red, red. And then go 3 blacks, red, black, red. 3 blacks, red, black, red, black, red, red. And then 2 reds, and then 2 blacks, and we're out of here.
Now let's head from the place where Frank Sinatra once reigned to where old Blue Eyes was born. I'm talking about Hoboken, New Jersey, a city that once held the Guinness World Record for most bars per square mile. And the bar is exactly the spot I'm going to teach you how to solve the pint glass riddle. Sometimes the hardest part of the job is figuring out who to target for this game.
Pretty busy tonight, huh, John?
Yeah, right? I wasn't expecting this.
First, I need to find a willing participant.
Crazy question.
What's up?
Superman and Batman had a fight.
All right.
Who do you think would win?
I'd have to go with Batman.
Look for opportunity?
Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, for sure.
Good one. Good answer on that one.
And when it comes, seize the moment.
Hey, can I get a drink, please? Sure.
How are you, ladies?
Hey, how are you?
There you go.
Good. Thank you so much.
Another crazy question for you, real quick.
All right.
If you look at this glass right here, what do you think is greater, the circumference or the height?
I'm not sure.
You know, ladies, let me ask you, ladies. We'll join in on this if you don't mind. What do you think is greater on this glass, the circumference or the height?
The circumference.
Circumference. What do you say?
I was gonna say the height, but now I want to change my answer.
I'll tell you. What do you say if you had to guess?
I'd say height as well.
You say height, you say height, you say circumference. This is gonna be interesting. Let's make it interesting. Let's put $1 up on it.
All right. I like this
Put
game.
it up. Come on, $1. $1. Just for fun.
Come on, girl, let's do it.
Nothing wrong with a friendly wager that goes to the next round anyway.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. May I have a stack of those coasters?
Yeah, absolutely.
But guess what? I'm going to make things even more interesting by adding some coasters and giving them a chance to change their minds. Looking for a brain teaser to stump your friends with? Right now at this bar in Hoboken, New Jersey, I've got a bartender and 2 women with me who think they know the answer to the pint glass riddle.
What do you think is greater on this glass, the circumference or the height?
The key to pulling this off is to keep things friendly and natural throughout the whole riddle.
You say height, you say height, you say circumference. This is gonna be interesting. Let's make it interesting. Let's put $1 up on it. Come on, $1. $1. Just for fun.
Come on, girl, let's do it.
I'll make things more interesting by adding some coasters and giving them a chance to change their minds.
Looks like it should be height now, but I still say circumference.
Still?
Yeah?
Sticking with height?
I'm gonna stick with height.
Height.
Height?
Yeah.
Let's have a pile. Just for her. She said circumference still. Let's do
You
this.
guys like this. You're trying to get my money.
Time to give that skeptic something to really think about and give them all another chance to change their answer.
It has to be height now.
Height?
Yeah, it has to be height. Okay, I'm gonna stick with height.
Height?
Yeah, I'm still saying.
You know something? Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna say circumference.
I got them all to agree, and now it's time for the moment of truth.
Hold the glass for me so we can measure it. Let's measure this. And that's about right here.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And let's see. And look at that. Circumference is the winner.
That's like not even right. Like, how does that even happen?
That's pretty cool, right?
And it's all because of a flaw in the human brain. Look at the circumference of a glass versus the height. The brain has a hard time comparing circles to lines, and that's a fact. But here's how the geometry works. The circumference of a circle equals the diameter times pi, or 3.14. The circumference of this pint glass is 11 inches. The height is 6 inches. I know I can add anything under 5 inches to its height, and the circumference is still larger. If they didn't believe their eyes before, they do now.
It has to be height now.
And I win the bet every time.
Thank you, ladies. I'll tell you what, for being good sports about it, next drink is on me.
Awesome. Thank you.
And here's a little something extra for you. To see how high you can make your glass to win, use your fingers to roughly measure the diameter of the glass, then multiply that by 3. It works with beer mugs, red cups you get at a kegger, and almost any glass. Just set it up properly, follow the steps, and reap the benefits.
Vodka cran, please.
I'll have the same, please.
Give them whatever they want.
Thank
That
you.
was my bartender's too.